I like the normal music, but the bonus music it hits.
Bonus music fucking hits, dude.
It's good.
I don't think I've ever heard that before.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
John, you didn't hit record again.
When did you hit it? At what point?
I hit it like 2 seconds after the music started.
Okay, so we got it.
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Fuck.
But just,
why am I so bad about that?
I don't know, because here's why. It's not your job. Jordan presses that button all the time.
When we have when we do the other show, yes.
Yeah, Jordan presses that button. You're not used to pressing that button.
I'm not used to pressing the button.
And you know what? Now I'm used to pressing the button. So I think I just will press the button. So now
you're the producer. Yeah,
great.
You're now the producer. Congratulations.
Wow.
Hey, welcome to this very special bonus episode of the VGB's podcast. We're going to drop this on the main feed. I've decided that when we do something new, we'll drop it on the main, and then we'll tell you you'll never get it again unless you subscribe to the Hive.
The first taste is free.
Num, 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 num.
That's good. That's just good business.
It's just good business. I'm in the drug trade. I'm in the podcast trade. Both apply. Yeah. So this is an emergency podcast. We hit the button. We didn't quite do a Bill Simmons. I have to get on line with my bros at midnight kind of thing. And I'm glad we didn't, because nobody knew anything.
Yeah,
until about 18 months until about 18 hours later.
Yeah, there was not enough information.
Yeah, and if you don't know, we're talking about basketball. This is not a video games podcast.
Nope,
I apologize to the 90% of you.
Yeah, 90% is
90%
I think, safe. Yeah.
But you know what? You jackasses,
don't fucking listen.
You don't listen.
Click.
And also,
why'd you click?
Y'all fucking begged Rob and Patrick into doing a sports podcast. So
exactly.
So we're doing it now too.
Exactly.
Unofficial.
No trends. No trends are new.
No trends are new. We had to do this because both of our personal hometown basketball teams.
We both have blood in this.
It's one. You know what's weird? I don't think I've said it out loud.
Yeah,
and it's weird to me.
For sure. Yeah, no.
The Dallas Mavericks over the weekend traded Luka Doncic, a person you are familiar with on this show because I wear a shirt with his number and name on it a lot. The best player the Dallas Mavericks have ever had, 25 years old, not even yet in his prime, traded him to the Los Angeles Lakers for Anthony Davis, who is a wonderful player. We can get into that. Wonderful player, prospect named Max Christie, and a draft pick, a first-round draft pick that doesn't become usable to us for 4 years.
Yeah, so you traded for an 8th grader.
Yes. Max Christie is, the 8th grader.
You traded for a child and an 8th grader. Yes.
Yep. Yes. So, we're gonna try to talk about this at a high level, but periodically I will dip in to explain some of the elements that you may not be familiar with if you decide to listen to this and you're not super familiar with basketball. A trade like this, where you are trading, and I can't stress this enough, at best the second best player in the world.
Yes.
At basketball. And at worst, the third best basketball player in the world. Usually when you trade someone of that caliber, you get a totally wild haul back from the other team. That is draft picks, that's players, it sets you up for the future. It's an acknowledgement that that player is super value. We did not get that.
You didn't. So your guy Nico Harrison,
yes,
who is
former Nike executive,
whose claim to fame is that he knew Kobe Bryant, and then his secondary claim to fame is that he fucked up a conversation with Steph Curry so bad that Steph Curry went to Under Armour instead of Nike.
Under Armour.
Can you like that would one of the things that has been the most difficult thing for me in the last 36 hours has been, or I don't know, who knows how long it's been, 48 hours, is trying to come up with analogy for this
in any other right. Yep.
Impossible.
Yeah.
And there are parts of it that like are multiplicative in how impossible they feel.
Yeah.
To have a guy be in charge of signing good basketball players to the basketball shoe company, fuck up, getting one of the best basketball men on the planet to sign for the basketball shoes company, when he wouldn't have been that expensive. It would have just been cheaper to take the flyer on not believing in Steph Curry at the time than it would have been to let him walk. Because then he was Steph fucking Curry. Impossible. So then to have your whole house get robbed voluntarily by a man that looks like Rob Lowe.
Rob Pelinka does look like Rob Lowe. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's
crazy. It's really bad. And so for those maybe not familiar with kind of the ins and outs of basketball, typically when a player goes on the trade block, kind of everyone knows about it.
Yes.
And so, like, for example, Jimmy Butler this year has been the poster child for kind of protracted trade negotiation because he has announced loudly he does not want to be part of the Miami Heat. There's a back and forth about whether he'll be traded. He absolutely will be traded before the deadline, but we just don't know to who. And it creates a big distraction. It really does. But that's typically just how it goes, and it's whatever. This was done completely in secret between Lakers GM Rob Pelinka and Nico Harrison. They met at a coffee shop here in Dallas on January 7th. They had a brief conversation about it where they were kind of like, can I give you Luka Doncic? And Rob Pelinka's like, you must be kidding, unless. And then it went from there, and eventually they came to this agreement. And it was done completely in secret. Jason Kidd, the coach of the Mavericks, did not know. Mark Cuban, the minority owner, did not know about it, according to Chandler Parsons, a former player. And Niki, LeBron James says he did not know about this. Yeah. Now, out of those people, I do believe LeBron James is lying. I believe he's lying.
And John, that's because LeBron James is a pathological liar.
He's a pathological liar.
Which I think is kind of sick.
It's kind of great.
Sick that LeBron lies as much as he does. Because he never lies about anything, I think, that has any meaning. It's all like surface level shit.
Yeah.
I, John, do not understand. I also I do think, just in case, when we say draft picks, gang, every year,
good
there's a crop of children that is grown in the field somewhere, and sometimes that field is in Kentucky. In the past, it used to be in Kentucky, and increasingly, the field is in other places like Iowa or Utah, or sometimes Serbia, increasingly. Or somewhere else in Europe. And a couple of years ago, the biggest farm was in France, and that's how you got Victor Wembanyama. This new crop of children comes out, and all of the teams get to pick their new kid from the crop. How poorly you do in the season determines how high you are on the rank. So the worse you do, ostensibly, there's a lottery system, but the worse you do, the higher your pick is. So you don't want to do poorly, but you are in the pay back from the mechanism to become better if you are bad is to get a good player out of the draft. Like as John was saying earlier, when you trade away someone who has established themselves as a guy that is good at basketball, one of the best, easily, MVP caliber, the entire time he has been in the league. He has been in the league for 5 years, right? Yes.
6 years.
6 years.
Yeah.
He has not been in the league for very long. Like you were saying, is about to hit the prime of his career.
Mm-hmm.
You are supposed to get back, not a joke, gang, 6 years worth of compensation.
Yes. Yeah.
For that.
Yeah. We're talking 4 to 7, maybe 8 draft picks.
Yes. The man who shut down the United States of America for the novel coronavirus. Do you remember that? Remember that in 2020? Rudy Gobert. He was worth 5 draft picks plus 2 men.
Yes. Now, a lot of people at the time thought that was an overpayment for Rudy
Which it
Gobert.
was.
Which it was.
Very obviously it was. But
that
is the
is
value.
normal. That is normal. And
Rudy Gobert is not as good as Luka Doncic is.
Not even close.
And Luka is much, much younger.
Much younger.
So to give him away, which is what has happened here.
Yes.
And I think part of the conversation, and this is something that I was trying to explain to a person that I was talking to yesterday about it, was like, the thing that is so tough is that the only person who can be mad in this situation is Luka.
Right.
Nobody else involved, none of the people involved in this trade. Anthony Davis, I'm sure, is pissed. But
he gave away, like, he
waived his trade
he
kicker.
waived his trade kicker, which means that helps the Dallas Mavericks when he comes in. They don't have to pay him a fee for being
extra,
traded,
which is huge. But also, he fucking gets it, right?
Oh yeah,
like, he's like, if you have the opportunity to get rid of me, an old man who was injured all the time,
to get Luka Doncic,
you got to take that every fucking time.
You have to take it. Yeah,
and like, I think that is huge for AD. He hasn't said anything, which is like, he doesn't have to. And he's also like not super public, because I was like trying to figure out, I was like, oh, actually, you never hear about Anthony Davis doing anything. And then I was like, oh, he hasn't said anything. And then literally moments later, I saw a commercial. I guess he's doing it in Practical Jokers style TV show.
Okay.
On TBS.
All right.
That starts in a couple of weeks.
Neat.
And in all of the graphics images, he's wearing purple or yellow, which I think is very funny.
That's very funny. That's really good.
He's like, oh, okay, yeah, that's
he's fine. Yeah.
He's like, I guess I play here. And for your team, John, for the next February, March, April, May, June, 4 months, you're actually not in a bad spot.
No, I want to say this, because there's a lot we can talk about on the basketball side, and there's a lot to like unpack there. From a nuts and bolts perspective, because Luka is still going to be out from an injury for a while still.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Anthony Davis is also injured, and also often injured, which is very funny, and we'll get to why that's so funny in a moment. But if he comes back soon, because it wasn't a bad injury, we will be better now than we will have been without Luka for that stretch, and maybe even for a month after he comes back, because that chemistry is not there. He's missed a lot of games.
Yeah.
The Mavericks this year, from a on the court perspective, are going to be really good for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Like,
that's
Stephen A actually thinks we are the number 1 team in the West right now, because we can beat the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Yes.
Now, like, he believes that. Now, whatever. You can say that, also Kendrick Perkins loves it. Two people who are famously always right about basketball. They're really high on this. And I have to be honest, we have people on our team like Derek Lively, like Daniel Gafford, like PJ Washington, like Kyrie Irving, and now Anthony Davis, I do think fits that mold, who are emotional enforcer-like people that are hardened and can win championships. I really believe that.
Yeah.
The story, as we understand it, has not been very explicitly said by Nico Harrison, although it kind of implied in a really shitty way. The story is that the front office of the Dallas Mavericks does not believe Luka Doncic is that guy, is a dog, so to speak, that can basically push them over the hump. Now, it's pretty wild to say that
It's a crazy thing to say.
when you can go to your own team's TikTok account, which is very well run, I think,
Yes.
and watch the many highlight packages that they've put together with Luka Doncic torching
Yeah.
really good teams in the playoffs specifically.
Yeah.
Just Google Game 7 Dallas Phoenix.
Yeah.
Luka
And kind of
Doncic,
just-
I'm not
yeah.
kidding, actually broke the Phoenix Suns.
Mm-hmm.
The Phoenix Suns, I'm not kidding, will never win a championship because Luka Doncic did that to them.
Institutionally destroyed.
He really did destroy them. And he kind of did the same thing to Minnesota.
Yes.
So when I look at a guy like Luka Doncic, and I can actually look at two really good basketball teams in the recent 5 years and go, this guy like pulled the bones of these teams out of their body and reconstructed it on a whim and then walked away.
Mm-hmm.
And you go, well, I don't think this guy can win. It's weird. I don't
bizarre.
really get it.
It doesn't make sense because it's not true.
I don't think it's true either. Yeah.
And I think the zone that like understanding, because it's so nakedly not true.
Right.
Right? So then you have to go one level deeper on like the reasoning. And the reasoning that is coming out is that the Mavericks and like management and ownership did not believe in Luka, but also mostly did not believe in his dedication to the game of basketball.
Yes.
And his ability to lock in enough to get over the hump. He has been to the finals twice.
No.
Question mark? Just
He's
the
been
one
in the
time
finals
last year.
once.
He was in Western.
He was in the Western Conference Finals.
twice.
They got beat pretty bad by the Warriors.
The Warriors, yes.
And then they got to the finals and got pretty badly beaten by Boston. I mean, the Mavs were embarrassed in that series.
No, for sure. But also, that was the best basketball team
That was the best basketball
in
team.
history.
Yes.
But last year,
Genuinely
So, like,
one of them.
What
Yes.
are you gonna do? Someone's got to lose. Like that's a situation where like you get to the thing and it's like, well, somebody's got to lose here.
Yep.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
They just don't. Management is in so many words saying that they don't believe that he cares about basketball enough.
And they talk about his conditioning.
His conditioning, very
They're
specifically.
talking about his conditioning, and it is heavily implied and now explicitly reported. They're mad that whenever he gets injured, he puts on weight, which then makes it more likely that he is going to
become
re-injure
again.
himself.
Yes.
Now, that is a concern, and we've seen that in New Orleans with Zion Williamson.
Mm-hmm.
Here, the fact that Zion Williamson was moved, was not moved, and Luka Doncic is
it's crazy,
insane, because Luka Doncic is a much better basketball player all the way around than Zion Williamson, and they suddenly care very much about Luka's dedication to this. But folks, it's ahistorical. It's very strange, because when you look at when you build the Mount Rushmore of basketball players who don't actually give a shit about the pageantry and the fucking what if of it all, the best basketball player in the fucking world is on that. Nikola Jokic doesn't give a shit about staying in shape, about not having a good time when he's not playing basketball. He doesn't play into all the bullshit that the league would love him to play into. He doesn't give a fuck about it, any of it. And you know what? He's the best guy on the planet, and it's not even close.
Yeah.
And it's like, Luka's kind of just a guy that's like 5 inches shorter than him.
Yes.
And that's it. Like, that's really the only difference between these guys.
And it also is like, if it was so important to you, Dallas, just fucking hire some guys to fix it. You have all of the money in the world. Like, there are so many notches on the ruler between give him away to the Los Angeles Lakers for free, basically, and do nothing. There's so many things in between that are like, we're going to start holding your checks, which is a thing that which fucking sucks, but is a thing that they have the right to do.
They can do.
They easily can be like, you are not in shape. We are not paying you. We are not playing you until you do this. Detrimental to us, yeah, for sure. But also, we're trying to win basketball games here, and this is how we think we're going to do it.
Yeah.
And then if he pushes back and is petulant about it, then, like, sure.
Explore it.
Yeah, do that, though. Try it.
Yeah,
first.
it was reported that the strength and conditioning people and the massage people and a lot of the kind of personnel that Luka really liked in the organization had been systematically let go over the past couple of years.
Interesting.
And he was reported, he doesn't really like plant stuff in the media. He doesn't really talk to the media. He is a visible figure in Dallas. He does do some stuff, but like he's relatively quiet. But I did read that he had told someone kind of off the record that he was sad that they were getting rid of people that he liked.
Yeah.
And he kind of hired his own people to make up for the fact that all of his favorite people were gone. He like hired people individually outside of that, and the team didn't like that. Is what I read.
Fucking.
But I mean, to me, I totally agree. It's like Nico Harrison got up there and was just like, yeah, this fucking out of shape, non-culture fit that's been a 5-year first team all NBA player who is the best player the franchise will probably ever have.
If he retired now, he would be
in the Hall of Fame. Yes.
Which, like,
as a 25-year-old.
That's crazy.
I don't immediately know who else could do like
no.
Wilt maybe.
Sure.
That's maybe it. The only person I can think of who could retire at 25 and be like, yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Look, he has had better first. How long was LeBron in Cleveland?
It was like 6 years.
Like 6 or 7. He has had a better first 5-6 years of his career than LeBron did. Yeah. Which is not to say that LeBron had a bad first 5 to 6 years. He had LeBron was on some shit ass teams.
Yes.
He did not see any of the success that Luka Doncic has seen.
And frankly, Luka's worst team was the one that he had his rookie season, and they didn't make the playoffs. It was Dirk's farewell tour. But we can talk about this for a second. His second worst roster he's ever been on is the one he's about to go to. It's the second worst team because once they got rid of AD. Now listen, LeBron James is multitudes better than Dirk Nowitzki was at the same age. Okay, sure. I want to be clear about that. Still a very good player, but also they're kind of the same player at this point.
They are the same guy.
Careers.
In a dream world, right? You actually have LeBron on your team at the age of 32, and you draft a Luka Doncic.
Right.
Like in a dream world, LeBron is injured. You tank intentionally. Luka's in the draft. You draft Luka. Luka learns from LeBron. Is like how you would script LeBron and Luka being on the same team. They play the same position, kind of the same way.
Yes, they're both both big point guards that can kind of play 1 through 4. I'm not sure Luka is good at like the thing with Luka is interesting, and this is getting back to like how I would fix it on the court. If they don't like the fact that Luka doesn't play good defense, then get another great defender in, and then put Luka on the worst offensive assignment. Just give him to someone that he can put a big body on, whatever. But now he's going to go to LA, and like LA's going to, I mean, they're kind of probably going to make a move to someone in the middle. I don't know if it's going to be like Walker Kessler or something like that, but it's like, this team is going to give up. This team is going to give up like 125 points a game.
No, and you know what? It's going to be a sick 125 points to give up. That's fine with me. I like points. That's fine. We're not getting Walker Kessler because Danny Ainge. I don't know if this was in the ESPN story that I read or if it was in the Atlantic story, but the Lakers called Utah and were like, "Hey, are you down to get some garbage?" And Danny Ainge was like, Okay.
Yeah,
What do
no,
we
this
have to
wasn't
do?
this wasn't the ESPN report. Yep.
And Danny Ainge is the GM of the Utah Jazz, and he was like, "Oh, okay, sure, we love garbage here in Utah."
Yeah, do you
And
want
then
Jalen Hood
30
Shafino and some
Yeah,
picks and
and
stuff?
then he was like,
Yep.
"Yeah, fuck it, whatever,
Sure.
whatever. Who cares? I love not. No, we love not spending money on guys that you know."
Yep.
And then 30 minutes before the trade was complete, after he had already agreed to the terms of his part of the deal, because in the end, in the NBA, you can do multi-team trades to
Yes.
make money work. So this was technically a 3-team trade, even though you're only going to hear about 2 teams being involved, because the third one literally is involved as like an accounting
as a
error.
financial rerouting
Yes.
tool. Yes.
It's the only thing that
Yep.
it's the only reason they're in there.
Yep.
Danny Ainge did not know that the actual part of the deal was Anthony Davis and Luka Doncic. That man is heated. He has to be pissed.
He has to
He
be
is a longtime Celtic, hates the Lakers.
Uh-huh.
There's no way he's giving the Los Angeles Lakers Walker Kessler. Not in a million years.
Ainge for sure thought we were like sending PJ Washington and Maxi Kleba over
Yes.
there for connect and some picks or something
and some
like
picks.
that. Like,
and then he was like, whatever, who gives a shit?
Whatever,
Again, I love garbage. I'll take your garbage from this transaction. That man is mad. There's no way this is not in the thing. This is just me
But he has
doing
to be mad.
conjecture. But this man is mad. There's no way he's going to give us Walker Kessler.
probably not.
I think the actual probable move is is giving away too much to get Mitchell Robinson from the Knicks.
Wow, giving
Because that's like because
it's
here's
gonna
why.
make me insane. It's gonna make me insane. Like, yeah, but you're right. Like, the Lakers can afford it. They could be like, we just got a fucking train robbery. Like,
Yes.
we put on the little mask and got on the train and did it. There was absolutely no resistance. There was actually no one on the train. It was so
Yeah,
weird.
It was
We
just a
took all
money
the
train
money
and
out.
nobody was there.
That now they're gonna try to actually just do a really dangerous heist and be like,
Yes.
all right, sure, we'll send way too much to get someone who's not remotely
good.
worth this.
But that's my fear, what I feel in my bones. This team is a defensive nightmare now. The Los Angeles Lakers are a defensive nightmare. This trade makes this team worse until LeBron retires. Which is
You're right. Yeah.
fine. And
because what they did was they basically just said, okay, cool, LeBron, we're so happy you're here. We had the Bronny moment. We gave you that.
yes.
And now your dude AD is gone. This is
Yeah.
Luka Doncic's team now.
Yes. Which is I have
Which
not
is exciting
seen clarity.
for
I
you.
have not seen clarity of thought from the Los Angeles Lakers like this since they said, which is crazy, since they said, Kobe Bryant, your ass at basketball, we're going to give you $150 million to be bad at basketball for 3 more years, King. Just get out there, tear your Achilles yet again. Just have fun out there, bud.
Score 16
out
against
there.
one of the worst
But-
teams in the league on your last day. It'll be great.
And then have a good time. Have Gordon Hayward intentionally commit a lane violation just so you can hit that number, King. That's what we want. That's good stuff. In hindsight, right? That's a good business move because it says to other guys in the league, we do fundamentally care about the people who play here.
Yeah.
Ostensibly. Kobe, different situation, right? Like drafted there, played there his whole career.
Yeah.
Won 5 championships for the organization.
Yeah.
Blah 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 blah. blah.
Total icon. Yeah.
But that is clarity of thought in we are building legacy with this move.
Yes.
And then Kobe retired, and it was kind of scary there for a little bit, John. We didn't really know what we were doing because we were ass and bad. Remember when we gave $1 bajillion to Luol Deng?
I do.
And Timothy Mozgov. We gave money to those 2 guys.
Yeah.
Because we didn't know what we were doing.
Y'all just assume hey, maybe the money will unlock something in them.
That's how it
maybe
always works.
maybe they've got a skill tree. It's like if you pump enough points into them, maybe they'll open up some stuff.
And the answer was no, it didn't happen.
No.
So I've been on we got our ring and there's not we're good train for a while. We won in 2020. We should have not blown the whole fucking thing up that summer.
Yeah.
Or whenever that was the
Yeah.
COVID year, so
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
like who knows when it was, but
Who
we shouldn't
knows?
have blown everything. We shouldn't have blown
Yeah.
everything up afterwards, which is what we did. We traded away Alex Caruso. We let Dwight walk. We got rid of JaVale McGee. Like, we fucked up the team for no real reason. We could have probably run it back. It would have been tough, but I do think we probably would have gotten to the Western Conference Finals and been solid.
I agree. Yep.
And then we were eclipsed by the Nuggets and OKC and also the Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah, also
right?
the Mavs, and
And that's just time, right? Like
Yeah.
the way that there are windows. Sports is about windows. There's in the football analogy here is that the Buffalo Bills, who are an unbelievably good football team led by Josh Allen, an unbelievably good quarterback, keep running into this fucking buzzsaw that is these guys who don't know how to win games, but also cannot lose games in the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah. I quick aside, I follow like 2 Buffalo Bills fans. I'm really glad that they are alive, but I don't know how they are because because one of them is around my age, I think. So that means that he lived through getting beat by 3 out of 4 NFC East teams in 4 consecutive Super Bowls.
Yeah.
So the Washington team, the Giants, and the Cowboys twice.
Yeah.
And then now running into Kansas City literally every time they go to the
Every
playoffs.
time. Every single time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, that's not... And I'm sure that they will probably run it back one more time in Buffalo before they blow that whole fucking thing up when they inevitably
they're going to
lose
give
to
it
the
one more
Chiefs
shot.
again.
But yeah.
But like, it is not a testament, and I think this is a really hard thing for people who don't care about sports to understand when people are trying to determine success. And I even think that people who like sports also fail to understand this because they look at a player or a team and they're like, well, they were bad, they didn't win anything, and it's like, no,
they do such a binary thing with championships. Is like, as a fan, you're like, yes, that's what I want. That's the goal. We want to win the championship. But if you are really a fan, you have to look at it in a much broader, long-term
It has to be
thing.
because if it is that binary, you never succeed.
Yep.
You simply do not succeed. And I think the cool thing about sports is that it is reflective of humanity and that there are a bajillion ways to succeed. There are individual ways to succeed. There are ways to succeed as a team. There are ways to succeed in the midst of failure.
Yes.
And then there are actually, like, obviously unabashed, we won the whole fucking thing ways to succeed.
Yeah.
But because there are so many other moving pieces moving all of the time, you sometimes lose. And that's fine and regular.
Like, I feel like there are 2 ways to lose. There's a totally natural way to lose, which is just like you're not as good as the thing you ran into.
Yes.
Like, and it's just like that sucks and it stings for a little while, but it's like, it's whatever. You also lose through sheer incompetence.
Yes.
And that is when I think teams and fan bases get really into a dangerous place of like, well, what the fuck are we doing? I mean, like, I'm looking at a few teams in the NBA, a few teams in the NFL, just like, hey, the Dallas Cowboys, for example, I'm just like, that is failure by incompetence. It is.
You don't think Schottenheimer is going to kind of bring
no.
this whole
In fact, I mean, some people think that they're tanking it so bad that they'll fire him, go get like Nick Saban, draft Arch Manning. Like, there's some sort of grand plan. Here's the thing: Jerry's not that fucking smart.
No,
I don't think he's not that smart.
He knows he's got in every single glory hole, John. There is an Arch Manning.
Every single glory hole there is an arch in that glory hole. So there's kind of losing by running into a thing that's better than you, and there's losing by sheer incompetence. And like, the Mavs got embarrassed by the Boston Celtics. I do not look at last season with anything other than that was fucking rad.
Yes.
You know how, like, we traded for PJ Washington and Daniel Gafford, and those 2 guys like, embody what I want on my basketball team.
Yes.
I am so energized when I watch those guys play. I went from making a fucking YouTube video about how sad I was that I was going to cry when we signed Kyrie Irving into I hope he feels better about Judaism than he used to, but like, also that dude is fucking balling and he seems legitimately happy, which is kind of cool to see. And then Clay coming, and it's like I think he was sad to leave, but I feel like he was like, I'm joining a really cool situation with Luka Doncic here.
Yes. Yes.
And now it kind of feels like if we blow this thing this year, it
then
kind of feels more like incompetence.
No, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Because it's like this is the Lakers acknowledging that they cannot. There is no point in trying to fight Nikola Jokic in Denver. There is no point in trying to fight the Thunder and the army, the current army of children that they have.
The 12 players deep on Oklahoma City. Yes. It is crazy. Yeah.
That current army of kids that they have, plus Alex Caruso, and the army of children who just got planted in the ground because they have like 10 first-round picks over the course of the next 5 or 6 years.
Yep.
The Oklahoma City Thunder will not be bad. It is high. There is a higher chance, Sean, that America doesn't exist
before
OKC is bad.
Yeah, it's a really good point.
And that's not even. I don't even think that's a joke.
Yeah, I know.
I think that's just true.
Yeah.
It is an unbelievably shrewd decision on the part of the Los Angeles Lakers to be like, there's no point in fighting this right now. We don't need to. We are, and not every team in the league is in a position to say, we'll sell the building out regardless. We can be bad because, gang, I was in the building when the team was bad and the building was still full. Like, it doesn't really make a difference.
Yeah.
It didn't matter. It is a blessing that on the way to saying and acknowledging, well, we're not going to get anything from this, some idiot was like, hey,
guardian angel named Nico Harrison, the Lakers
like
guardian angel,
like Mercy in that first Overwatch trailer. This broad reaching her hands down to you and saying, "Do you want Luka Doncic for nothing?
You want Luka Doncic for fucking nothing?
For nothing? For a guy that has already proven himself." I love Anthony Davis.
Anthony Davis is great. I'm psyched to have Anthony Davis on my team.
Yes.
But finish your point.
Is an incredible 2 guy.
Sure.
He is not your 1 guy.
Well, maybe they think Kyrie is our 1 now.
Kyrie is 1,000,000 years old. He is not your 1 guy. and you know what? Kyrie, not long for the National Basketball Association either.
No.
Is probably actively counting the number of years he has before he's like, I'm outie.
Not only that, like, he might be a good actor. He might be a good teammate and a guy that just is really supportive. Or he might actually genuinely have loved playing with Luka Doncic and being on his team. And now we're maybe counting the moments until he's... maybe not great.
You know who, can I ask you a question, John?
Yes, please.
When do you think Kyrie Irving's contract is up?
Did we sign him for an extension? No, I don't think we did. So he's an unrestricted free agent after the season?
He has a player option this year.
Okay, so a player option. So okay, so that means, for those who don't know, there are 2 options at the end of a contract. And sometimes they're not even tacked on, but you have a team option and a player option. A team option means that you've pre-agreed to the terms of an additional year, and the team gets to decide if they want to keep you for that last year. On the other side, there's a player option where the player has a predetermined salary that they will get from that team if they agree to go on, or they can enter the free agent market. Now, if Kyrie Irving decides to play the rest of these 4 months and then it does not go well. Now, we did lose very badly to the Cleveland Cavaliers yesterday. Granted, we didn't start like 5 different
you had no guys.
We had no guys.
Crazy. I don't think they should play basketball in February.
I don't get it. There's a week in February where you should, now, this is legitimately us changing the rules right now. They should take the All-Star break and combine it with trade deadline week and just
Yes,
be
and
like,
yes.
and we have everyone has 10 days off and the
Yeah.
trades all happen, the all-star break happens because the all-stars is going to be the all-stars. It doesn't matter who they play for.
Yeah.
Like, just
And then everyone
have it,
goes to
and
their
everyone
new
goes
spots
home. Yep.
after the break.
Yeah, I don't know why they don't do that. That doesn't
Yeah.
really make any sense to me.
Because there is a world where AD plays like 2 games for the Mavs
And then
before the break, and it's
Yep.
like, well, why would you?
why?
Like, why? For what?
Yep.
You don't need to do
Right.
that. All right, Johnny Lestich, where were we going with this? Oh,
Oh, no, I don't know.
Kyrie Irving, weird man,
Weird guy.
weird guy.
Yeah.
Clearly
That's-
not motivated by money.
Not motivated by money.
Because if
at
he was, he
all.
would shut the fuck up.
Yep.
You know who Kyrie Irving really likes?
LeBron James.
LeBron James. You know who else he really likes?
Luka Doncic.
Luka Doncic. And you know what
Yeah.
he could conceivably do?
Could bolt and go to the Lakers for the last like 2
For-
3 years of his
For
career.
like $7.
Yeah, for like
If he
maybe
wanted.
maybe for like 10 million a year if he wanted. to.
Yeah.
Yep.
And now, like,
You
I don't
could.
want that to happen. I think it would be crazy to have a weird 3-headed dragon with a 150-year-old LeBron James, Luka Doncic, and Kyrie Irving. No defense on that squad.
Well, you might have a. I mean, I don't think it's. I mean, Niki, man, I don't know. I don't know if this is. I don't even think. I don't know if this is remotely going to happen. But I did do the math, the kind of napkin math. I might have done it wrong, but it could be Jimmy and LeBron and Luka for the rest of
Like,
the season, which would
that's
be
crazy.
like really fun in a way. But also, I don't think that team would be very good.
No, that team's bad.
Yeah.
And like, I think it is it. I don't think it. I really don't want Jimmy. Like, I love Jimmy Butler.
I know. I
really don't want
Jimmy
that guy.
seems fucking awesome. I do not want him within like 20 miles of my
No,
team.
I don't want him on the Clippers. Like, like that's how. Like that's what I'm saying. Like, I
You
can't
should go
have
play
this
for the
guy
Blazers.
around. Yeah,
Just go for the Blazers.
Why
Just go
not?
play for the Blazers.
he would be
It's fine.
beloved in Portland.
Yeah.
There's the reason that this trade is so nuts. It's like giving a person in jail like a key not only to the jail that they're in, but every other jail in the county.
I know.
The Lakers were so fucked.
They were so fucked.
On Thursday, we were fucked. We had after LeBron,
Yeah.
no plans. Not a single plans.
I really, and and people have been getting conspiratorial about it, and which is a lot of fun. But it's like, I don't know how this doesn't involve some sort of political move by Nico Harrison. I really don't. I mean, like,
Yeah.
this is because Rob Galinka and Palinka and
Galinka.
Galinka is the name.
Galinka!
Galinka is the no, I think that's Gelnica. I was like, Galinka is the name of a ship in Final Fantasy VII, but I think that's Gelnica. Rob Palinka and Nico Harrison are buds.
Yes, friends.
And Nico Harrison even alluded a couple days ago to like, well, I'm talking in the future. I'm talking about like the next 4 years. Like beyond that, like who knows if I'm going
Who
to be
gives a
here.
shit?
This sounds like he basically made a move to have Rob Palinka hire him in a couple of years. Like that's what
Yeah.
it sounds like. And it's just like, I don't understand. One, NBA front office people have blocked trades before.
Yes.
The fact that this wasn't
the Los Angeles Lakers.
involving Lakers, the fact that this wasn't at least like questioned
Yeah.
that we know of is very strange just because it is so enormously lopsided. Every single pundit I have seen, even though they're blowhards, they're way too emotional and hyperbolic, but every single one has given this a straight up F
Yeah.
in terms of what the Mavs did. This is not getting any remotely the value that you should have. At the very least, we should have gotten another player and another draft pick.
Yeah.
We should have we probably should have gotten Austin Reeves.
Yes,
maybe,
or Dalton and the
or
other
Dalton.
pick. Like the trade started out as
with 2 picks.
with 2 picks plus Dalton or Austin,
Or Austin
plus
Reeves.
AD.
Yep.
And then
It was whittled down.
yes, it was whittled
over
down
the last few weeks.
to what it was, which was Anthony Davis and some peanuts.
Yes.
And
and a signed glossy of the Laker girls. And Nico's like, yay!
yay! He puts it in a
Laker
frame
girls.
in his office.
Yep.
It's just it is still a failure if they win the championship this year, which is such an impossible configuration of words, but it's still a failure if you win all of it this year. You're not going to.
Oh, I agree. No, but I agree with you. Even if we win, I mean, it's like I'm not. It's really funny. We just talked about measures of success.
Yeah.
And being happy if you give it your best and it doesn't work out.
Sure.
But if you make a move like this, now I'm on another plane where I'm like, this better be a fucking dynasty or it's a problem for you.
Yeah.
So it's a weird thing. Sports is weird. It's because if you make big moves that are super risky and really dumb, you need them to work out in a way that is historical.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you really fucked up.
Yeah, and this is not a long-term move by the Dallas Mavericks.
No.
This is a win now move in a world where it is going to be impossible to win now.
Yes.
This does not it makes the Dallas Mavericks better, but I do not think it makes them better than OKC over the course of 7 games. Even though I know that the Mavericks have OKC's number.
No, but
OKC is better.
But everyone on the fucking news cycle this morning and yesterday were like, well, yeah, they've got OKC's number. I was like, I feel like there was a guy on our team that had something to do with that.
Yeah, and now he's not there.
Now he's not there.
Because
it's so
Anthony
weird.
Davis does not have the capacity
not Luka.
to drop 60.
No.
So teams are afraid of Anthony Davis, but they're not as afraid of Anthony Davis as they are of Luka.
No.
So
you think Rudy Gobert loses sleep over Anthony Davis? No. But he loses sleep over Luka hitting that shot over him in game 2.
Every day.
Yep.
So it from that perspective, it's why are you selling the farm when nobody was trying to get you the farm? Why are you selling the farm? The farm wasn't for sale. Mm-hmm. The farm is making more money than it's ever made.
Yeah. Yep.
And everyone also loves the farm.
And everyone
People
loves
love
the farm. Yeah, we were mad. They did a makeshift funeral at
some guys brought a casket.
Some guys brought a casket. I don't know where they got it. That's wild. But it was a blue casket. They brought it. They gave a eulogy for the Dallas Mavericks. We're all really sad about it because in sports you also do, as a fan, invest in players, and not to talk about a 25-year-old adult like he's some child, but it's he came into our team, he came into our city and was, really special. We kind of watched him grow up and kind of become the player he turned out to be. And that's really great. And we do get attached to individual players, and he talks shit and he's a brat, but he's our brat. Yeah. And we loved him for a lot of those reasons. The Mavericks front office apparently did not love him for any of those reasons,
which is crazy. Well,
I want to say, I want to say I have had nagging issues with Luka Doncic, his conditioning, whatever. The fact that he complains about the refs in a way that he doesn't get back on defense to complain to the refs. He does it in big games too. I also watched him, and I was rewatching some of it this morning to kind of remind myself. He was so bad on defense against Boston last year in the finals that I did watch a sequence with him, and this should not be the case. But I watched that and I went, I think that's the tape that Nico keeps watching and goes, we can't win with this guy.
Yeah.
Now that's dumb because I think you can coach that out of him.
No, for sure. That is,
and I think you can get him on be an adult and figure it out.
Yeah.
But I do think I watched that and I'm like, We are now built better to deal with Boston. The problem is we're not going to get there.
Yes.
I don't think.
No, I don't think
with
so
this
either.
team.
Yeah.
I don't think we beat Denver. I don't think we beat OKC.
And I think, and also, like, you don't have the support of the people who pay you money
No.
anymore.
No.
So, like, so sure you win, but at what fucking cost?
Yeah.
These guys that are on the team that will, sure you win the whole thing. Okay, they're all old. None of them will be in the NBA in 5 years. You know who will still be in the NBA and very good? Luka Doncic.
And maybe LeBron James. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, dude, can you fucking imagine 46-year-old LeBron James still somehow averaging 15,
I want him to go.
8, and 3?
I want him to go until the fucking wheels fall off.
Dude,
I don't care.
He
won't.
He could average 10 at the age of 48 if he
yeah.
wanted to.
I think so too.
He would be in hockey. They have old guys on the team.
Yeah, which is really fun. Yeah.
Which is great. The NBA is not built for that because on hockey teams you have like 150 guys.
You have a lot of guys. Yeah.
And you also in hockey have guys whose job it is to fight. They're bad at hockey. They are not good at hockey anymore. Their whole job is be on team fight.
Yep.
If LeBron, he'll never do this, took the minimum and played 10 minutes a game,
Yeah.
it would go crazy.
Yeah, it would be pretty cool.
Like,
yeah.
you could press a button and say LeBron minutes.
It's
on the screen at
LeBron
Staples.
minutes.
And then, like, everyone gets those fucking...
Everyone throws the chalk in the air or whatever, the chalk in the air.
And then everyone's coughing. Some people are bringing in asbestos. It's a cool bit everyone's doing. It's new TikTok trend. It sets this team, the Los Angeles Lakers, for continued success over the course of the next decade. And then damns the Mavericks to irrelevance in 2027. It just seems like the 2K video game does not...
Oh, it doesn't let you do this.
It doesn't let you do this.
No,
that's how crazy it is. The video game where you can do anything in it, assuming you don't touch it, and the game which will on its own make insane decisions about basketball. Says
you can definitely cheese the trade system. It is not hard. I've done it a lot because I play it a lot.
Yeah.
This one doesn't go through.
No, it doesn't go through. The game says
this one is
idiot.
like no. You what for Luka?
Yeah, no, not in a million years. There's no... Oh, I think something that I was trying to get across earlier is just like there's nothing like this has happened before.
Oh yeah,
this had to.
We didn't touch on that. This was very unprecedented in terms of the magnitude, the way it was done, everything.
It felt like history in a way that was like kind of crazy. Because when I saw it, the
night of was very funny. Yeah,
I didn't have access to my phone until I left the place that I was at. So then I opened the phone, and John Warren John Warren said to me at 9:20 p.m. after I had surrendered my phone,
which is 11:20 my time.
Eastern, yes.
So I'm getting ready. By the way, I'm getting ready for bed.
For bed, yeah. And then what happened, John? When did you go to bed?
And then I just saw a screenshot on Blue Sky from Shams. So it was a Twitter screenshot of Shams. Someone posted on Blue Sky, and it said, "This is real."
Wait, sorry. Shams is the Weasleiest fuck you've ever seen in your whole life.
He
looks like he smells like Axe. He
smells like Axe. He's absolutely 5 minutes away from trying to sell you a new crypto coin.
Yes. Yeah. Or Lynx if you're in the UK. He looks like he sucks. He replaced the other guy whose job it was to kiss ass,
to break news,
and tweet and break news, because he said, "This shit's stupid." He said, "I don't want to do this anymore."
Yeah, I literally have cancer. I don't need this anymore.
Yeah, I don't need to do this. So he quit, and they found this rat boy. Anyway, the rat boy tells you what's happening in the NBA.
It says Luka Doncic has been traded for Anthony Davis. He goes, "This is real." And then, of course, the group chat that I'm in, that Niki and I are both in, was just like, no, he's been hacked. No,
Yeah,
nope.
this is a cool bit.
And then when I figured that out, that it was real, I did send you what you're
You
about
sent
to
me
read.
you sent me 2 text messages. Hey, hi, and then I didn't respond for 3 hours. So I opened my phone and I have the basketball chat on. I don't get notifications from it because
Yeah,
there's too many
I'm
fucking
muted. There's
people
too
in
many.
there.
Yep.
So whenever I like open my phone, it is like so low on the list of priority.
Right,
When
yeah.
I'm looking in the messages app. So I looked at yours and I was like,
No, that's weird.
huh? I was like, I don't understand. And then that was at 2:08. So within 60 seconds, I said, hey, sorry, I just saw this. And then I closed messages and then I opened Blue Sky and then I pulled down and refreshed and I must have seen a tweet and then I replied, holy shit. All within the same 60 seconds. And then I moved over to the basketball chat. It was nuts. I have to imagine this is what it was like when Michael Jordan said he was retiring and then also when he said he was coming back.
Yeah, Twitter would have been fucking wild when Michael Jordan, quote unquote, retired to go play basketball. He was really just avoiding a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah,
that
when
he didn't want to be a
when
part
he
of.
got suspended by the National Basketball Association for gambling.
Yep. And they decided to just let him go play baseball badly for a couple of years, and then yeah, he came back and that was wild. And yeah, that probably was going to be weird. This was weird because it was announced so late.
Yeah.
We all kind of knew we weren't going to get much of the story, but yet we still were desperately trying to figure it out. We were trying to figure out why this happened. There have to be conditional picks in addition to this coming.
Yes.
There's no way we have the entire story here. Now, one of those things is developed. The story is very interesting, and we still, I don't think, know the full extent of it. But the other stuff did not come. There's this is the extent of the deal. That's it. So it was very wild. The thing we alluded to earlier, and I definitely want to focus on for a second, is let's say Luka and the front office did not have a very good relationship. Let's say that they tried to get him to be in better shape and have a better attitude and all that stuff, and it just didn't work. To treat him still like they have treated him in the past 18 to 36 hours, knowing that the city loves him, the fan base is always, the league loves him, social media loves him. He's all over the place in terms of highlight videos and just trick shot bullshit on social media and stuff. They really treated him like shit
for
this.
no reason.
And I don't understand it. They were really, they were not nice. I think you can trade someone away and acknowledge that they're just not working for you anymore.
Yeah.
But you can still be like, God, Luka is incredible. This is one of the hardest decisions of my life. I know it's a big risk. It's a really tough thing. Luka's a great guy and a great player, and it's going to be really hard watching him play for a different team in a different uniform. But I felt like this is the best thing for a team going forward, and I understand that that's hard for folks to understand. Instead, it was, J Kidd didn't know about this, but we're aligned, and we agree on archetypes and culture.
Yeah, we love an archetype and a culture.
And then someone asked in the press pit, so Luka doesn't fit the culture. And he goes, I'm not going to talk bad about a player.
We just traded him for that exact reason.
But we basically traded him for that exact reason. Defense wins championships.
Yeah.
And it's and they didn't post a statement. They didn't post.
No.
I know it's cheesy and easy and kind of stupid to post one of those thank you 77 things, but it's
fucking point.
But the TikTok account did better than the actual team did. It was fucking insane.
Yeah. There's the other thing that is so there's no reason for anybody to trust anybody who is not Well, I would actually argue that there's no reason for people on the Dallas Mavericks to trust anything that the Dallas Mavericks will say and tell them.
No.
But like Luka was on this year, he was eligible to sign what is called the Supermax contract, which is
Correct.
when you get drafted to a team after 7 years of continued
so.
service for the one team. You are eligible for a maximum contract that is more than the maximum allowable contract. Which now listen,
hey, guess what,
you're
folks?
saying.
Not what maximum means. We understand. Maximum is kind of the highest amount you can go, but in
For
the
most
NBA,
people,
there's a super maximum.
there's a super max. There's higher than maximum, and that higher than maximum number is like, was it $145 million?
Oh,
that
for
correct?
a 5-year contract is like 340.
300. Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah.
What did I say? Whatever number I
100.
said was wrong.
140.
It's 35% of the cap is the
Yeah,
way
it's,
that the math
it's a
works.
massive amount of money.
The cap is the salary cap. There's a maximum number of money that you can spend, except again, there isn't, because you can spend more than that maximum amount of money.
Yep.
And then there's actually above the maximum, there's 2 levels of more maximum that you can pay.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
then if you're in the first zone of maximum, there's penalties on what you can do under this first zone of maximum. And then if you spend too much money, then you get into the second maximum. And those are called the aprons. But the thing about aprons is that they go down on your body and not up. So
Not
they
up?
also don't really make any sense.
Yeah, they don't
either. I
really
don't
make
really
any sense.
understand why they've called
Yeah.
them that. Luka was eligible for the Supermax this coming off season.
Correct.
Traditionally, even if you want to get rid of the guy, you give the guy the contract,
Right.
because then you got him.
You got him.
That you have him for 5 years. You
Yeah.
have a lot of time to figure out what the fuck you want to do with him.
Yeah.
He's stuck.
He's stuck, and he's also now in his prime
Yes,
Yeah.
when he is the most valuable.
when he's the most valuable.
There are teams on the planet who would move heaven and earth to make the necessary space to pay Luka Doncic the amount of money that he is owed and signed a contract to. They did not need to make this move today. They
No.
could have made a different move, a better move, at the end of the season, do a sign-in trade where you sign him to the Supermax and then send him away. Because
And
then,
then
you get
and then
more of a
another team
return.
has him for a long guaranteed
Yes.
contract. Yes.
And if you do it that way, you are still saying, Luka Doncic, thank you very much.
Thank you. You're great.
Thank you so much for the success that you brought this team. In the wake of Dirk Nowitzki, the best player
we had
ever
before.
seen. Thank you very much for your service. We are rewarding you with the money that you are owed. Best of luck in the future. This fucking sucks for everybody.
Yep.
But
It's a
sports is
business
hard.
decision.
It's a business.
Yep.
You don't even get to stand behind it. It's a business decision because nobody in business
Nobody
would
would do
reasonably
this.
do this.
The thing is like, and Dan Lebitard is saying this, it's like Nico Harrison's job is to essentially do, I hate talking like this, but it's like to get the most value
Yes.
out of your players, out of your
Yeah.
business. And he explicitly failed on that
Yes.
mark. I mean, very, very clearly. And I just don't understand it. For those who don't know, and you might be sitting here going like, well, what does Mark Cuban think of all this? Okay. Mark Cuban is the minority owner of the team. He used to own the majority of it. And now he's a minority owner because Miriam Adelson and Patrick Dumont are casino moguls.
Where do they live,
who-
John?
Where do they live? They live in Las Vegas. And they both suck. Okay.
Bad people.
So Miriam
Some of the
Adelson,
worst.
for her part, is a big Zionist and a big Donald Trump fan. And she has pledged more than $100 million to Trump's campaign in exchange for U.S. recognition of Israel's sovereignty over the region. So she's kind of like that. And Patrick Dumont basically wants to turn everyone on Earth into a degenerate gambler fuck. So
That's the dream and the goal.
that is the explicit goal. And some people are speculating that they don't want to pay anyone a supermax contract because they don't want to spend that kind of money on the basketball team. They really bought the basketball team to be a bargaining chip for some of the casino stuff that they want to open here in the Dallas area. And if that doesn't make you feel gross as fuck, I don't know what will. Nikki, you have a question.
Are casinos legal in Texas?
There are types of casinos that you can have here, but it is not legalized like it is legal in Vegas, in Nevada,
Okay.
or Oklahoma even. So right now at the border of Oklahoma and Dallas, so it's about an hour up I-75 here in Dallas. You can go to a place called Durant, Oklahoma, and go to the Choctaw Casino. They have opened a large kind of resort-style casino there, and they spend a lot of money to advertise and get people from Dallas up into Oklahoma. Dallas would really rather have that money.
Yes.
And the Adelson family and the DeMont family would really love that to be concentrated in Dallas. The really conspiratorial aspect of this is that if Dallas does not vote to do these things, some people believe they're going to actually try to move this franchise to Las Vegas.
Which would be
I think that is a
crazy.
long shot, honestly. I do think that's a long shot.
I agree.
Because
but
I think
also,
LeBron was going to establish that franchise
Yes.
when he retires.
Mhm.
But these people suck enough, and Dallas fucking sucks enough.
Yes.
We just approved a new fracking deal today, Nikki.
Oh, that's great, John. Congrats. You're going to get some more checks out of the ground.
It's happening near a daycare center about 10 minutes away from me.
Oh, that's awesome. Listen, the kids need the fuel.
I
Kids
love
love
earthquakes.
fuel.
I love earthquakes and I love fuel. And so I love this fucking city. It's great. We're dumb enough that like it might work out, and then we're just gonna open a big fucking casino in downtown Dallas, and it's over. Like it's over. I can't talk about gambling without saying I'm not a prude, but like we have to stop.
No, for sure.
We have to stop.
It
this.
is. It's such an easy. It's so obvious in how insidious it is. It is like being. It's getting the tape from The Ring, and then being like, "Hey, this is the tape from The Ring. You know the movie.
Yeah.
It's the same tape."
Yep.
So your options right now are put it in the VHS player and watch it, or don't. And increasingly, everyone's like, I think we should probably just pop it in the VHS player.
Pop it in. That's what could happen.
Because what's
What could
worst that could happen? Because
What
I'll
could
get
happen?
rich in the meantime, and nothing bad can happen because I'll be rich. Yeah, I think it is a testament, I think, to the lack of security that everybody who is alive in this country has in any of our institutions, that people are like, well, this could only mean, like, it was not even a reach for people yesterday. It took 2 seconds for this conspiracy theory to sprout that actually the Adelsons are doing all of this money, are doing all of this work. It's not that they don't like Luka Doncic, they just don't want to have the team be worth any money. Yes, blah, 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 blah. But it's like, no, they have more than money than God. Like, that ain't it.
That's not it.
If that was the goal, they would have just bought out LeBron James. There are other ways to put a basketball team in Vegas.
Yeah.
Is it. They wouldn't have gone through the unbelievably bizarre route of buying a basketball team in Dallas to then, that's not the move.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man.
It's just, it makes me feel bad for this franchise. Everyone involved kind of like, I recommend y'all go watch the press conference between Nico Harrison. Was sitting right next to him.
Put it in the,
We should put it in the notes. It's a really, first of all, you do not have to be a body language expert.
No, for sure.
Or an expression expert.
Yeah.
To know that Jason Kidd not psyched about this.
No, as a text, it is, I think, like, unbelievably
It's very
important. Like, really, really interesting. No, like no. This man's fucking pissed. I
You
think he
got
liked
rid of
that
the best
kid.
player. I think he did too. I think he did too. Like every single time he did something incredible, he'd basically shake his head and laugh and be like, "Yeah, it's crazy that we have a kid like that." The problem is that no one in the front office seemed to have the like. I know this is gonna sound corny, but no one working in the Dallas front office right now seems to have the wonder of watching an
Watching him
athlete
play. Yes.
do unprecedentedly cool
Yes.
things.
Yeah.
And it's
There.
like here I sit and I'm like that you can't buy that. You can't
No.
magically create that. That's something that is like that happens in such a weird like Luka fell to y'all in the draft.
Yeah.
You like some morons got DeAndre Ayton and fucking what's his face
Marvin
ahead of
Bagley
Marvin
the
Bagley
third.
the third ahead of Luka Doncic. It's impossible. It's
Yes.
impossible. And we ended up with him. We traded with the Atlanta Hawks and to avoid getting Trey Young. And it's like we got Luka Doncic. It's incredible, and he was so much better than any of those players,
Yeah.
and so much better than 99% of the basketball players on Earth. And no one seems to give a shit about that in the front office.
Yeah.
And
No. Like, huh? And that's
Yeah.
that's the thing, right? It's like when chasing. Joke's on you. It's this story is actually about bigger than basketball. You fucking fools.
it is,
When
and
you-
that's
when
why,
you-
and that's why I was so depressed this weekend.
Yeah,
Is
no,
I was
for
I was
sure.
more depressed about it. I was like, well, I am actually really depressed about this, and I do love the Mavericks, and I like Luka Doncic a lot, but this is why I was so depressed.
Yeah. It is not simply enough anymore to have fun
No,
with sport
or anything.
or anything
Mm-hmm.
anymore. You know who was a successful basketball team before? The Dallas Mavericks. At no
Yes.
point did Mark Cuban, in his ownership of the team, which like the terms of it completely different. He bought the team for like $8 a million years ago, and now it's worth like $4 billion. How much did he sell the team for?
3.9,
3.5 or
like that.
yeah, so like $4 billion, right?
Yeah,
So like an unbelievable return on investment. The point though of it
yeah.
is not we make money off of this, we extract. It is, isn't it fucking cool?
Isn't it great?
That we have trained our bodies, that these specific people have trained their bodies to put this ball in this hole this way, to electrify you in ways that you did literally have never seen before under the bounds of we run around in this rectangle and put orange ball in a hole. It is so primal, so fundamental in the ways that human beings derive pleasure and joy, and then to then
And there's
it
community
makes me
too.
fucking
There's
mad. That's the
community.
other
Hey,
part,
Nikki,
right?
let's fill a building with
Yes.
people across every single spectrum you can imagine. Every race, every class, every
Yeah.
sexual orientation, every gender, everything, everyone sits
Yeah.
in a room together and supports this thing together for 2-3 hours every single day. The city comes together and we're like, we fucking love these guys.
Yes.
You
And
can't
that's it.
like that's
That's
it. It's so good.
That's all you have to do. And I think it is so, and that's what sports is. I really, really struggle to like, for a while was like, whatever, people are allowed to not like stuff. But like when people are like, oh, sports ball, I don't want to interact. It's like, you are fucking stupid.
You're fucking-
Fundamentally,
shut up.
you are missing the point of alive.
Yes.
And I it makes me so mad because it's like there are so few opportunities, and those opportunities are going away so
so
quickly.
fast. Yep.
We went from a space in the world. I was thinking about like you ever think about how there will never be a moment in history again like the moon landing? Like
Yeah, right.
like everyone everywhere.
Everyone. Yep.
Everyone everywhere. And like the reasons why we went to the moon, completely
Goofy.
fucked. I understand.
Goofy.
That.
Yep.
So goofy. But we were like, I think it
Holy
would be
shit.
sick if we would have. I think, yeah, it would be so fucking sick if we sent some guys up to that orb. How fucking cool would it be? We lost a lot of we killed a lot of guys in a lot of weird capsules on our way to getting up to that fucking orb.
Yep. Some people killed a dog. It's crazy. It's crazy. Like
Some
we all
people
like
killed a dog.
like they got a dog off the street.
Set
It's
that fucker in his
crazy,
face.
guys. But you know what? We learned something.
We learned something, right?
Yep.
In service of going to somewhere.
Right.
To do a thing for a collective as opposed to an individual.
Right.
We will not have a moment like the moon landing again. Right?
It doesn't feel like it.
It does not feel like it, right? And not to say that like the moon landing again is like the peak, but I was just
No. But I think you're right.
It.
I mean, I think you're right in terms of like something we can all be in awe of together. Yeah.
And sports are slices of that.
Yeah.
You get to do that for in the NBA 41 times a year.
Yep.
You get to go to your building with people that you know, watch people that you know.
Yep.
Hang out in a weird liminal space. Like I don't mean to make light of the fact that like it's really fucking weird that like people's tax dollars have to go into building these buildings. Like
I know.
Like
it's
I get it, gang.
I get it. There are parts of it. There are parts of it that are wrong. There are parts of it that are goofy that I would change, but the fundamental brass tacks of it are still this.
It is so much more generative, energy wise, and from a perspective of we are people trying to relate to other people in service of being people. It's fucking worth it every single time. So when you make a decision that is purely business, that is a bad business decision, and the other side of the bad business decision you've made is it fucks up the, I think, legitimately sacred and unbelievably important responsibility that you have as a person who is unbelievably rich and owns a sports team, that you have to the people who pay you money every 41 fucking times a year, and you say, actually, this guy's he weighs 20 pounds too much. And even though he puts the orb in the hole better than you've ever fucking seen it in your life, we just don't trust him.
We just don't trust him.
What are you fucking talking about?
I mean, I don't remember who it was. I saw some TikTok that was like, this guy could be pounding burritos and weigh 450 pounds and absolutely tank. I've killed Niki. And absolutely tank the Lakers when he goes there. And this trade would still not be worth it. It would still not be right because the guy is still so good even at his worst. I don't know how much they think they can get. It's blood from the stone. It's like, okay, so he weighs 20 pounds less. Okay, he complains a little bit less. Is he really going to be exponentially better? Niki has choked fully on some water. I apologize. I apologize for that. I hate it when it goes straight down into your lungs. Dude,
right into the lungs. Why would you design the tubes to be that close?
I don't know why. I don't understand that.
It feels like there?
Feels like there should be significant space.
Put him there? The idea of Luka Doncic at the end of the fucking bench getting a Tina's burrito delivered to him.
Oh my god,
is so funny to me.
I mean, he showed up in LA last night looking hefty.
No, for sure.
And you know what? Bless him. Go to Randy's. I hope he went to Randy's right away.
He got in the car and was like, "Take me to the donut zone."
Yep. I'm going to Nobu and then I'm going to Randy's.
But here's the thing. And you mentioned Zion Williamson earlier.
And the way they talk about him is fucked too.
Completely fucked.
Yeah.
That is also institutional failure.
Yes.
It should not to be, and I do think that there is like personal responsibility stuff that
there is.
becomes kind of gross when you talk about it in some ways, but like your job is to be a professional athlete. If someone is like, come on, you got it, then like honestly, your obligation is actually to do that.
And if he was never injured, I don't think this would be a conversation. But he's injured all the time.
He's injured, and the science is there to be like
the
injury is happening because of his lack of conditioning.
Yes.
And it's like, okay. You know who has no fucking tolerance for that? LeBron James. None.
I know.
He spends at least the figure that people keep throwing around, and it's like a 10-year-old figure at this point, was that LeBron was spending $1 million every year on his body. That
I
has to
believe
be
it.
like $4 million a year now. Like
Yeah,
those
it has to
blood
be.
bags are expensive now,
Oh.
right?
Yeah.
Have to
He
be.
has most of his body is now tendons of just children from other countries.
The reason they signed Bronny was because it was getting expensive to fly him out every time he needed a new ligament.
Uh-huh.
But now if Bronny's already on the plane, they can do the surgery on the plane.
Mm-hmm.
And it's fine. He's
Yep.
he's the spare parts bin
Yep.
for his dad. I do not doubt that all the Dallas Mavericks have done in saying these cruel things to this man who has given his everything to this organization, given them trust, love, care, and excitement to this organization. There is no reason that opening tip of the 2025-2026 season that Luka Doncic is in the best shape you've ever seen him in and is averaging 35 to 45 points a fucking game.
This man is going to drop 60 on us
Every time
single
until he
time
retires.
he plays us, and we'll deserve it
Yeah.
every single time.
I don't get
Yeah,
it.
I agree.
you
And
don't
like
freaking
and the,
gotta,
and the
dude.
Mavs bet here's where Nico Harrison is. And I want to give, on one hand, you really don't have to hand it to Nico Harrison. But on the other, I will say the Kyrie Irving deal
Great deal.
has worked out.
Like nobody
That
said it
was
was legitimately
really-
nobody said it was possible. Risky.
Nobody said it was a good idea. No one said it was a good idea. No one.
because
And
it was a bad idea.
and it really worked. The PJ Washington, Daniel Gafford deals, we gave up too much at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, that feels
Yeah, paid
totally
off.
worth it. So, and we drafted really well. Derek Lively, maybe third best player in that class. I mean,
Sure.
something, it's
Yeah.
crazy. It's like, he's a really good player. So they've made some good decisions. This is not one of them.
No.
But I am also kind of like, he is shorting the idea that LeBron will be there long enough to get Luka Doncic in shape.
But the implication, which is fair, but the implication is that LeBron's going away.
Right, I know.
Like
I know.
that he's not going to still have his hand in the pie of the Los Angeles Lakers once he retires. Mm-hmm. The reason he's in LA is because he likes LA. He likes living there.
Yep.
His kids live here.
Yep.
One of his kids is going to be the best South Bay Lakers player you've ever seen, ever. He's going to go in the G League Hall of Fame. Right? Like, he's not
He's
going
going to be
anywhere.
so good on the Harlem Globetrotters in 6 years.
And like, it's going to be fucking sick. He has
Yeah,
no
it'll be sick.
reason. There's no reason to believe that LeBron James is not going to, in the interim between him getting the expansion in did you just DM me?
No.
Oh.
No, I didn't.
Why did it?
Did we
who,
get DM'd? I also got
no,
a
I
DM
got a
flash.
DM.
I don't know why. I don't know what happened.
What Discord I think does that. I think it's a trap.
Yeah, that sucks.
Lost it. Oh, there's no reason to believe that in the in-between between LeBron James retiring and when he gets the team in Vegas, which is not an instant process. There are
Right.
at least 4 years. I would say that the Vegas team does not start until 2030. 5 years
Yeah.
is a long time.
It's a long time.
5 years is a long time to have
Also-
people in your ear.
Also, Bryce James will be in the league in
27.
3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
So like there's
He might hold on till then.
He might. I
might.
hope he doesn't, but he might.
He might.
There's just it. I don't doubt that is part of the reasoning. It's just flawed logic. There's no reason to believe that between JJ Redick, who legitimately seems to be a good coach and is liked within the organization
Yeah.
and seems to be favored by his players on
And-
account
and-
of the fact that
and-
he's
and I know this because he has a podcast where he used to talk about it all the time. Fucking loves Luka Doncic as a player.
Loves this guy.
Loves
him. Like,
Yes.
not to be insane, what a 1 calendar month for JJ Redick.
Oh, JJ. Loses his house.
Loses his house. All of his belongings.
All of
his
his
kids' belongings.
Yeah,
like,
he was broken up about losing his kid's art that he made for the house.
Like
I'm sitting there at his press conference, like tearing up. I'm like,
weeping.
JJ,
Yes.
you can't do that.
The only person in the Palisades who I care whose home burned down is JJ Redick. And now, if this gift of Luka Doncic is not, I think that you're probably going to be here for the next 5 to 7 calendar years at least. I don't know.
Yep.
What it is.
Yeah.
It is a gift. It is a vote of confidence for that for that administration.
Yeah.
To be like, okay, we actually do think that you can handle this. Here, have a fun new toy. Can you get us some rings? And like, yeah, dog.
I think so.
I do be thinking, we're back. I want people to know that we are back up. It's been a long 5 years.
That's what I hate
Since
about
I've
the
known
fucking
any kind of
Lakers is that every
success.
single time, everyone's like, all right, Lakers going into a bad period because it's like LeBron and AD, they ain't going to last forever. And like, who the fuck else is on their team? Anyway, yeah, I can't wait for them to be bad. They did what?
Listen,
Who?
It's really hard being a fan of God's favorite basketball team. I don't
Of
know what
God's
to
favorite
tell you.
basketball team.
Can you imagine if this same thing happened with the Celtics? I actually think there would be riots in the street.
Yeah,
And
I
this
think
is
people
how
would
I
be
know
like
that-
shoot mad across the country.
This is how I know when the Lakers do it, it's fun. If
It's
the
kind of
Celtics
funny
were
when
to
the
do
Lakers do it. Yeah.
it would be vile. I think people would be in the streets.
Yeah.
And that's how you know that Boston's a bad place.
Yeah.
Cursed
Well,
by
yeah.
Satan.
Yeah, I mean, hilarious. Yeah, I mean, it's how I know that is because if the Lakers had somehow procured Kristaps Porzingis for like no money and like they didn't have to give anything up, it'd be like, wow, Lakers really got a cool piece for their team. That's great. But when Boston did it, everyone was like, this fucking Nazis on the Boston Celtics. And I'm just like, even I was saying shit like that. But then like a month later, I was like, Kristaps didn't really deserve any of that. Like he seems like a totally like good dude. I don't know why.
regular.
But I was on that boat. I was like, yeah, fucking, of course they want that guy. And I'm like, no one deserves that, but Boston deserves
but Boston deserves it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, listen, God's favorite basketball team. It's simply that's all it is.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Sometimes you get lucky.
Yeah.
And that's why sports are cool.
That's why
The Angel
sports
City
are cool.
Football Club is going to be bad forever, John.
Yeah.
And honestly, fucking amped about it.
Yeah.
I'm like legitimately amped about it.
Sure.
I enjoy too much success in other sports
Yeah.
here. Every other
Dodgers.
team that I like, good. Dodgers, good.
Dodgers,
Galaxy, good.
Good.
Sparks, bad. That's
Bad.
fine. Angel City, not going to be good, but on our way to middling. And if we have one in the middle, I think that's going to even us out because God's going to be like, they gotta get something.
Right.
And then in 4 years, we'll win the NBA Finals and the World Series in the same year again, and it's gonna be sick as hell. And everyone's gonna clap, and everyone's gonna say, "Wow, it's been so hard for you." And then I'll get letters in the mail, and I'll say, "Congratulations, I'm so happy for you. It must have been really hard." And I'll write back, and I'll say, "It was really hard. I saw no other success other than the other 2 World Series championships that the Dodgers won." Yeah, and
Here's who's going to be the starting 5 for the Mavericks the year that the Lakers win that championship. Okay, it's going to be Fred VanVleet starting at point guard. Okay, and then he's like he loves to dish that rock to Luke Kennard at the 2.
Yeah, he said Luka.
Luke Kennard, and then at the 3, is Contavious Caldwell Pope.
He's
Absolutely.
got that championship.
It's got that
DNA.
championship. At the 4, you know it's the ageless wonder at the tender age of 45, PJ Tucker. And then Derek Lively will still be at the 5 and pretty
That's
good.
awesome.
That's
That's huge.
it. But that's
Congratulations. No, you
that's
get one.
it. We
You
get one.
Well, sorry, John. I
Terrible.
don't know what to tell you, bud. Yeah, sucks, dude.
Really sucks.
Fucking blows.
But we had to dive into. We won't see anything like this in our lifetime again. I don't think.
No.
Not in terms of a sports.
Legitimately,
Like, this
once
is
in a
crazy.
lifetime.
Yeah.
Which means it's going to happen again in 5 years.
It'll probably happen again in 5 years.
Congratulations, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. You are a Seattle Supersonic.
Ooh, that's tasty. I do like that idea. That would be
God,
really
that would
funny.
bang. He's closer to home. Hold on. It's closer to home for him.
Yep. And there's some synergy there.
There's
you
synergy
send
there
the
'cause he's
OKC
from-
guy
Yes.
back to the
KD's
Pacific
not going to be in the
Northwest.
league at that point, but KD's like SGA is the follow up to KD
Yep.
for OKC. Mm-hmm. Seattle never got to see Kevin Durant. Really, they had him for
Really.
1
It was
year
one
before the
season.
team moved.
Yep.
But he wasn't good. He was a child. He was
Yeah,
a
he was a
lanky,
child.
ugly child at the time.
Yeah. It's
And
weird.
SGA,
I'll watch
hot.
Kevin Durant. Yeah, that's true. I'll watch Kevin Durant play now, and I'm like, what a weird looking guy. And then I watched clips from his first season. I was like,
Better.
that guy was Slender Man. That guy was
Yeah, dude.
fucking Slender
Crazy.
Man.
Yeah.
That was wild.
Yeah, people thought Wemby was skinny last year.
No way.
No way. Yeah.
Crazy. All right, let's get out of here. This was a fun little bonus, basketball bonus. We may do more sports stuff in the future. I don't know. We'll see what
Yeah, why
happens.
not? It's free, John.
It's free, and it was a lot of fun. And next one is not going to be free for you, though, dear listener.
you gotta
You're
pay
gonna have
for it.
to pay for it. You got to go to vgbs.com/join. Join the Hive. You can ask us Hive questions every single week on our regular podcast, which we record every Thursday afternoon. And yeah, if you like this and you are like, wow, okay, y'all are into other stuff besides games sometimes. It's true. And we have a Discord that is full of people who talk about a lot of different stuff, including this trade. This is the busiest I've seen our sports channel because everyone's like, what the fuck? And you can join by going to discord.gg/VGBs. So please do those two things. Tell your friends about this podcast and the one in the normal video game one we do every single Thursday. And do you have anything to plug, Nikki?
Yeah, I've got a newsletter. The first one comes out
Huge.
on February 7th, which is on Friday.
Huge.
It's called Make You Think. It's a newsletter about
Perfect.
being alive in the end times. I've been working this weekend. I got high and thought of some segment ideas for it. So I'm kind of excited about it. There is a free tier which will get you the inbox or get the newsletter in your inbox once a week. And then if you kick me $5 a month or $50 a year, you'll get 2 bonus posts. And what those will be a surprise as we kind of build it together. But they will range from videos to photos to more words. Who knows?
If you don't actually do the paid tier, I'm going to come to your house and I'm going to uproot one of your plants.
Wow. That's a
It's
great
one of them.
threat, John. Thank you.
Yep.
Just one. And then you won't know which one.
You you won't know which one by the hole and the fact that the plant is just on its side in your front yard. Yeah, you won't know. You won't know which one.
No idea.
But I'm very excited for the newsletter. Nikki found a great font for the.
Thank you. It's called RL Aqua. It's Aqua,
great.
except the V is a U is a V.
That's a good font. I don't really have anything to plug. If you want to go put $30 down on a glider or foot controller, you can do that over at feetlegal.com or glider, glydr.gg. That would be kind of cool. I'm also going to be on the Giant Bomb voicemail dump truck this week.
Dump truck on Thursday. GiantBomb.com. I think that's at 12:30.
It's at 1 Pacific.
Okay, I'm being told it's at 1 Pacific on Thursday. It'll be me, John, and I don't actually know who else is on it.
You know what? I'll tell you what. There are a lot of people on the invite, so I don't know.
So
is that normal?
That's normal.
Okay, so you don't. Okay, because I was like, this is gonna be a crowded room, but it's gonna be just 4 of us.
It's just normal. It's only 4 people. I just don't.
Okay.
Hey.
So me coming on basically got someone else off the hook, is what I'm hearing.
No, because me coming on got somebody else off the hook.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
Lots of stuff is changing over at fandom, the Fandom Corporation.
Cool.
Most of it's good, but it's That's good. It's the media, ain't it?
Media.
It's media, ain't it?
Thank you so much for supporting independent media like our website and our podcast. We really appreciate it. All right, until next time, keep on buzzing. Bye.
Bye.